I found myself participating in a live-streamed parenting variety show alongside my rival. In this program, her rarely seen child, born from a clandestine marriage, bore a striking resemblance to the esteemed heir of the capital's elite. The internet erupted in a frenzy. Could it be that the hidden wife of the capital's prince is indeed her? In the face of rampant speculation from netizens, my rival smiled shyly at the camera. My husband has instructed that we must maintain a low profile while participating in this program with our child. By a curious twist of fate, my little one happened to catch the interview. He exclaimed, "Auntie, don't drag the child into this nonsense. If you're so capable, why not call out to the prince and see if he responds? Whether the prince finds my mother appealing is another matter entirely, but you, being older and full of deceit, surely do not catch his fancy." As a social butterfly, he commenced an indiscriminate online assault. I was left in shock, my hands trembling. Yet, propelled by the audacity of my little socialite, we unexpectedly soared to viral fame across the internet. In the face of a flurry of rumors, Shang Shuangshuang smiled shyly at the camera, not only indirectly acknowledging her child's identity, but also responding, regardless of the father's status. "He is my beloved baby." Coincidentally, the interview caught the attention of my little one, who, with a puzzled expression, turned to me and asked, "But Mom, isn't Dad's secret wife you?" Indeed, it is I. Yet, I never anticipated that someone would actively seek to attach themselves to another's husband, pretending to be his wife. Truly, the absurdity of it all is astonishing. Even more outrageous is that after Shang Shuangshuang admitted to being Gucci's secret wife, my counterpart was vilified on trending topics. Since it is Shang Shuangshuang who is the true secret spouse of the prince, what audacity does Qin Qiyu have to meddle with a married man? It's laughable. Song Qi doesn't even know her, yet she shamelessly tagged him as dear, and the prince's reaction was so cringeworthy that I felt embarrassed for her. Qin Qiyu is simply a fool. It seems she has dug herself into madness, foolishly imagining herself as the prince's wife. As expected, those of lesser fame often create unnecessary drama. I eagerly await the moment she faces the real deal on the show. After Shang Shuangshuang's connection with Gucci, my previous slip of tagging him resurfaced, reviving the dead horse. Yet, I swear on my conscience, it was not intentional. That day, it was truly an accident. I was chatting with Gucci on WeChat while simultaneously scrolling through gossip on Weibo. Juggling both conversations for too long led to some confusion, and I mistakenly tagged him in a video meant for my studio colleagues, captioned, "Dear, take a look at this." The netizens were astounded. Here I am, a mere nobody, daring to call the prince dear. Did the prince even recognize me for such audacity? Especially after Gucci responded with a mysterious smile, the internet erupted in mockery. They claimed I was groveling, only to be met with his eye roll, and in an instant, my once pristine image in the industry was shattered, reducing me to a desperate girl. There were even rumors that my lack of acting was due to the prince blacklisting me. But it was truly a slip of the hand. Moreover, what is wrong with affectionately addressing my own husband? Besides, Gucci's smile was nothing more than a superficial gesture. He is a workaholic with an old-fashioned demeanor, hardly aware of the nuances behind such expressions. Now that Gucci is overseas expanding his business, it has inadvertently allowed Shang Shuangshuang, this imposter, to bask in the limelight. Her delusional fans have infested my comments section with profanities. They are practically clamoring to find a father for her illegitimate child. They should realize the caliber of the prince. How could he ever be interested in her? She has no dignity left, parading her illegitimate child on a variety show. What audacity! Some individuals, who appear demure on the surface, are truly conniving and self-important. What right does she have to share the same program with Shuangshuang? Qin Biao should be removed from Mommy Move Forward. Yes! Qin Biao should be expelled from the entertainment industry. I suggest the authorities blacklist her. Such trash does not deserve to profit in this industry, nor to sully our screens. I shook my head in disbelief. This is simply too much. They have already insulted my child. How can they dare insult me? This is blatant bullying. And I must retaliate. I clicked on her profile and composed a lengthy comment of 200 words, deleting and rewriting it multiple times, feeling that my words lacked impact. Alas, my high standards prevent me from resorting to vulgarity. Just as I was pulling my hair out, grappling with how to articulate my response, my agent frantically called, urging me to manage Qinyi, who was about to cause chaos online. Qinyi, my troublesome child, was merely packing his bags in his room. What havoc could he possibly wreak? Upon stepping outside, I discovered that this little rascal had managed to push Xing Shuangshuang off the trending list. Now, the internet was ablaze with the name Qin Yi. I was bewildered. But upon investigating, it turned out that he had unleashed his full combat power against the haters, generating this buzz. I have a dad, so stop talking nonsense. You look like someone without a dad, otherwise, how could you be so uncouth? Surely, your father never taught you any manners. Whether the prince fancies my mom is another matter, but he certainly wouldn't fancy you. You claim my mom's resources are obtained through unsavory means. Did you peek through her window? Or are you part of that process? Otherwise, how could you know so much? My mom is unworthy? If you think you can do better, go ahead. But wait. You clearly lack the qualifications to even try. How unfortunate for you. Want me to have my mom exit the entertainment industry? First, your suggestion is amusing. Secondly, I suggest you refrain from making suggestions. My mom's decision to stay or leave is not something someone of your caliber can dictate. Ms. Qin has been in the industry for 6 years, starring in 5 dramas, all of which received ratings above 8. Why does this irritate you so? My words left the haters fuming, yet they could do nothing to retaliate, only hopping in frustration. Even the onlookers were astonished. What kind of child is this? Initially, 7 out of 10 trending topics were dominated by Sheng Shuangshuang. Now, 7 belong to Qin Yi. The remaining 3 are mine. As the audience discussed Qin Yi, they also mentioned me, pondering how Qin Qiu, a complete flop, could produce such a fiercely competitive child. It's a clear case of well done is not as good as well born. I felt a mix of emotions bubbling within me. Thanks to my child, an unexpected fortune has suddenly fallen upon me. Sadness, sadness, sadness. The next day, I took my child to participate in a program. During the first season of Mommy Move Forward, the production team had invited me, but I was too busy with my own affairs to attend, resulting in my child becoming a devoted fan, pleading to join him for the second season. My marital status and parenting were already an open secret in the industry, yet I never expected that at this critical juncture, Sheng Shuangshuang would suddenly appear with a 5-year-old child, joining the same show. Heaven knows how much I wished to avoid encountering her. Years ago, I rose to fame within 5 minutes through a leading man's recollections, establishing a unique white moonlight persona in the entertainment industry, adored by all. Yet, less than a year later, Sheng Shuangshuang emerged, imitating my style and borrowing my persona with her ethereal looks. It became absurd, as the clothing I wore would invariably appear on her the very next day, and the establishments I frequented would also grace her Weibo feed. Gradually, it evolved to the point where she would cameo in every drama I filmed, coupled with a flood of promotional articles that sought to diminish my worth in comparison to elevate herself. After 3 years of relentless undermining, she has successfully brainwashed the public. Her career is now flourishing, making her one of the hottest stars in the industry, while I have only managed to film 2 dramas, relegated to the status of a washed-up nobody, often subjected to online bullying by her fans. Being a nobody is fine. I have no aspirations in that regard. However, I only wish to joyfully bring my child to a program, yet she insists on muddying the waters. Recalling the dread of encountering Sheng Shuangshuang, I felt utterly disheartened. Upon meeting in the studio, we exchanged mere polite nods, devoid of genuine warmth. To make matters worse, one of the other pairs of guests was from her company, bringing their daughter to the show, reportedly to pair her with her son, having already recognized him as her godson. Now, riding on the prince's coattails, they were nothing short of insufferable, showering Sheng Shuangshuang with sycophantic praise. Shuangshuang is not only beautiful, but her child is also remarkably handsome and adorable. It's infuriating how one can be so perfect. They must be here to unwind, right? After all, Sheng Shuangshuang is renowned in the circle as a diligent worker, and the child hardly gets to see her throughout the year. This opportunity is just right for cultivating their parent-child relationship. After Sheng Shuangshuang nodded in agreement, she swiftly adopted a mocking demeanor to attack me. Unlike some people with their shamelessness, eagerly trying to become a mistress only to be rejected, thus making it common knowledge across the nation, they even possess the audacity to bring their child to participate in the show without feeling embarrassed. Is the desire for money truly that compelling? With such a lack of ambition and a wish to take shortcuts, one can only blame fate for their inability to rise to prominence. Not everyone is fortunate enough to enjoy a thriving career like Shuangshuang, marrying into a wealthy family, and having such an adorable child. This insinuation was so pointed that it nearly named names. What bad luck. As Xing Shuangshuang listened, a slight smile played at the corners of her mouth. Another ordinary mother appeared tense and uncertain, unsure of what to say. I, however, was seething with anger, glaring at her as she fumbled for words. Just then, my child stepped forward, hands on hips, confronting Su Lin. With a chubby little face unperturbed, he exuded an air of authority. Auntie, you're not that young anymore. Why are you speaking so carelessly? Has no one taught you that one should rely on evidence when speaking? Which of your eyes saw my mother as a mistress? Without evidence, that's slander, you know? We could take legal action against you. Likewise, where is your proof that that auntie is the wife of the heir to the Beijing Circle? Did the heir himself admit it, or is there a marriage certificate? Show it to me, please. Seeing is believing, otherwise. If someone takes advantage of him while he's on a business trip, flaunting his name to deceive others, that would be quite troublesome, wouldn't it, Aunt Xing? His speech left Su Lin utterly stumped. The mentioned Xing Shuangshuang also displayed a moment of embarrassment, though it quickly faded. Child, you are quite naive. Who carries a marriage certificate around? My little one pondered thoughtfully and responded, then what about that big diamond ring on your finger? You claim to be the wife of the heir, yet I remember he is quite wealthy. Why such a meager gift for his wife, unlike my mother? He said, pulling my hand towards the crowd, his tone somewhat cheeky. Look, it's a pigeon egg. Quite a large one. My dad loves my mom very much. He is both handsome and wealthy, and they are a legitimate couple registered at the Civil Affairs Bureau, with a marriage certificate to boot. He would never stoop to being a mistress. His words left me feeling a bit bashful. Just as he withdrew his hand, he mysteriously handed me a box. Mom, Dad said he couldn't accompany you recently due to work overseas and feels guilty. So he specifically asked me to give you this incredibly expensive necklace he bought at Christie's, hoping it will make you happy. After saying this, he adjusted himself to the best angle, slowly opening the box towards the camera. The dazzling diamond necklace lay quietly within the black velvet box, and the moment the light hit it, it burst forth with a brilliant radiance, filling the entire studio with its brilliance. People are often captivated by beautiful things, and this diamond necklace was no exception. At the instant the box opened, all the staff present held their breath. And even the initial live broadcast comments came to a standstill, with the few that appeared filled with astonished exclamations. My child gently placed the necklace around my neck. And then, not forgetting to make a heart-holding gesture, he exclaimed, "How beautiful! Diamonds and beauty. If Dad saw this, he would surely be utterly entranced, lost in admiration. No. I must take a picture to send to him as a bribe." He picked up his phone and snapped pictures of me excitedly, saying, "Mom, you need to be more low-key when you go out. You're already part of high society, marrying into wealth, and having such a handsome child like me is enough. Just acting a little will give you such high recognition, unlike some who, after 10 years, still return as ordinary people and have to rely on currying favor with younger generations to get on camera. How embarrassing. With such good fortune, I fear some may grow envious." It was quite evident who he was referring to. Su Lin's face turned dark with anger, her nose crooked. Besides being an ordinary person, she was the most seasoned in the room, having been in the industry for over a decade, tirelessly working to build her career. Yet the audience remained oblivious to her existence, ranked far outside the spotlight. Otherwise, she wouldn't have resorted to having her daughter create a CP with Shang Shuangshuang's son. Hearing my child say this, Su Lin's eyelids twitched with rage, and before the live camera, she began to speak indiscreetly. "Yes, I may not have fame, but I am not like some who court married men. To flaunt being a kept woman on a show is truly disgraceful. She claims to be married, but who knows the real situation? Perhaps the legitimate wife is watching right now. If her partner were truly handsome and wealthy, with a harmonious marital life envied by others, why would she flirt with Gucci in front of so many people online? Wake up. Don't be deceived by the persona that Qin Qiyu has crafted." Upon the conclusion of her statement, the entire venue fell into an eerie silence. Even the production team was taken aback by Su Lin's remarks. If the earlier segment had seen a modest number of viewers, now that the show had officially commenced, nearly every live stream had 100,000 viewers. With so many eyes watching, her comments were decidedly inappropriate. I wondered what on earth was wrong with Su Lin. I just entered and heard such provocative remarks. Is this something one can say? Moreover, especially on a children's show, in front of so many kids, Fu Fu's mom even covered her child's ears. Could it be that she has been in the industry too long and feels a sense of imbalance? Now I finally understood why she hadn't gained traction over the years. However, more importantly, it was because of the incident involving Gucci that they turned against me. Joining forces with Su Lin to criticize. What is wrong with criticizing her? Did she not call Gucci darling? Was she coerced into it? Fans of Qin Kuyu should not be so unreasonable. She acts like a mistress and still wants to maintain her image. Indeed, even if we assume she unintentionally flirted. Upon learning that Gucci is Shuang's hidden husband, she should have withdrawn from the show, right? Yet she didn't. Instead, choosing to make things uncomfortable for the legitimate wife. Everyone condemned Su Lin for her lack of decorum. But who considered how uncomfortable it is for Shuang to see her face? I think her son is no saint either. Being so sharp-tongued at such a young age speaks volumes about his upbringing. Qin Kuyu's persona of being uncompetitive is merely an act. Who knows what she is truly like behind the scenes? Su Lin may have spoken harshly, but she was merely stating facts. She deserved to be scolded. The fervent fans of Shuang were infuriated, hurling insults in my live stream, yet no one paid them any mind. For the segment regarding the housing distribution was about to commence. My attention was captured by the director who was explaining the rules. The program, Moms Charging Forward, has invited 4 pairs of guests, with the production team preparing 4 houses of varying conditions, a luxurious and grand villa, a comfortable apartment, a serene and secluded homestay. And the worst, a dilapidated thatched house. Ostensibly, the guests are competing fairly, with the winners allowed to reside in the finest dwelling. However, the production team, in a bid to appease Shuang, intended to make a predetermined choice, absurdly masquerading it as a voting process, claiming that the villa would be more comfortable for her due to her long journey. What a joke. My child was the first to object. On camera, he raised his hand high, his face clearly displaying his displeasure. Director, I object. We all traveled a long way. Everyone is exhausted from the journey. Why should the villa be reserved for them? What else more, my mom is delicate and frail, even panting when walking. She is the one who should be in the villa, all right? This is completely unfair. Either we compete through games as stated in the rules, with the winners getting the best house, or treat everyone equally. So many netizens are watching, we cannot have preferential treatment. The production team found themselves in a bind. After some discussions under pressure, they ultimately decided to proceed with the original plan of playing games to determine the housing distribution. Little did they expect that the so-called game would be a matter of going up a mountain to dig for bamboo shoots, with the one who digs the most emerging victorious. Gazing at the bamboo basket, towering over me and seemingly bottomless, I felt compelled to utter, I believe residing in a thatched cottage could be quite delightful. Perhaps I shall forfeit my claim. The little one, observing my lack of initiative, shook his head in resignation and, shouldering the hefty bamboo basket that surpassed his height, wobbled up the mountain, glancing back at me with reminders to keep pace. I leisurely trailed behind him. Upon reaching the summit, he set down the basket to commence digging for bamboo shoots while I plopped down on a small mound of earth, sipping on his wanchai milk, watching him laboriously excavate with his rear end protruding. Meeting his forlorn gaze, I hastily waved my hands, signaling, do not look at me. I am utterly incapable of assisting. I have declared my withdrawal. The thatched house suffices. It was you who insisted on the grand villa, so exert yourself. Look, other mothers are catching up with you. Upon hearing this, his mood shifted. He turned sharply to the bamboo shoots, swinging his little arms with renewed vigor, resuming his task with determination. I continued to sip my milk leisurely, occasionally cheering him on. A stark contrast to the other mothers who were struggling under the weight of their baskets, digging with one hand while tending to their children with the other. The live comments erupted in laughter. Oh my, Chinkuyu is going to make me die from laughter. It's evident she is genuinely lazy. Not just putting on an act, unabashedly slacking off, even refusing to exert herself for her own child. The humor was palpable as viewers found amusement in our contrasting styles, where one family was diligently pushing forward while another was blissfully unconcerned. Indeed, it was my first encounter with such an endearing dynamic. It felt refreshingly charming. Unlike the exhausting scenes of other groups, if motherhood resembled Qin Jia's relaxed approach, who would fear childbirth? +1, Qin Jia is amazing. I thought to myself, feeling a yearning for a child as delightful as hers. Her child's spirited determination was simply adorable. Alas, my heart was already captured, and I sensed I might soon become an admirer. Despite 3 competing groups, they were either glamorous celebrities untouched by labor or office workers engrossed in presentations, wholly inexperienced in agricultural tasks, let alone the technicality of digging for bamboo shoots. Without a doubt, it was the industrious little one who claimed first place, earning the right to the grand villa. Naturally, my role as a supportive mother was not to be overlooked. Without my encouragement, he could not have achieved such success so effortlessly. I had expected he would move into the villa, allowing me, his guardian mother, to bask in its glory alongside him. But, unexpectedly, he handed the keys to the family of Fufu, who had come in fourth. I had overheard that Fufu suffered from hives and could not stay in dark, damp places, making the villa more suitable for her. So I decided to relinquish the villa's usage rights to Aunt Li Fei, participating in this program as an ordinary person. Had initially sought only to blend into the background. Little did she expect to be touched by my child's generosity. Although she casually mentioned Fufu's condition, the production team had overlooked it, but my little one took it to heart and even offered his prize villa for their use. Li Fei was instantly moved to tears, repeatedly expressing her gratitude, albeit feeling a bit embarrassed. I firmly placed the key in her hands, urging her not to disappoint his heartfelt gesture of digging for bamboo shoots. These moments would surely become cherished memories in the future. As the live comments burst into laughter, they found humor in my child's endearing yet comical efforts. This is a mother? How could she be so mischievous with her child? The viewers were amused, envisioning the possibility of this becoming a memorable anecdote at future celebrations. Having you is my fortune, my little one declared, bringing a smile to Li Fei's face. I waved my hand dismissively, stating, I had intended to forfeit and reside in the thatched cottage. I hardly participated, so what do you ask of me? As long as my little one is willing. That suffices. Li Fei continued to express her gratitude, excitedly leading Fufu to the villa, while my child and I settled into the decrepit thatched cottage. That night, as we lay on the creaky wooden bed, my little one gazed at the ceiling, sharing his thoughts with me. Thank you, Mama, for supporting me in giving the villa to Fufu and for accompanying me in this shabby dwelling. I replied, no need for thanks. I had no other choice. All right, he said, a smile creeping across his face. I playfully pinched his cheek, teasing, you truly excelled today. My little one exerted all his effort to care for his sick sister. How commendable. Such kindness must surely come from me. With that, I rolled over and playfully shoved him off the bed. Observing his forlorn expression as he landed on the floor elicited a chorus of laughter from the online audience, who found the scene utterly delightful. That night, Chin Caillou is truly kind trended on social media, the comment section brimming with joy as if celebrating a festival. Who would have thought that watching a children's reality show could bring such happiness, with laughter echoing throughout the screen? Chin Caillou is astonishing. The irony of claiming to be very kind only to push her own child off the bed. The humor in this mother-son duo is intoxicating. While my little one displayed remarkable kindness, caring for his ailing sister and relinquishing the villa for her comfort, I couldn't help but feel a wave of admiration for them. Unexpectedly, our unconventional approach garnered us quite a following. The next morning, the production team summoned us to rise early for a charitable breakfast. Exhausted from gaming all night, my eyelids felt heavier than lead, making it nearly impossible to rise. My little one quietly donned his clothes, standing by the bed after washing up, looking at me with pleading eyes. Mama, are you sure you don't want to cook? The first mom to finish will be rewarded, and if we don't participate, we'll lose points and not be first. I buried my face in the pillow with a sigh. This ridiculous show. Must everything be a competition, even cooking? Let them deduct points. I'm an actress, after all. I need my beauty sleep. No mere points should jeopardize my career. Besides, you're still so young. Don't let your desire to win overshadow the importance of enjoying the journey. Sometimes, being at the back of the pack is just fine. His innocent face reflected utter disbelief as he gazed at me with no intention of budging. With a shake of his head, he reluctantly departed with the production team. Help! I can't believe I saw my mother's expression mirrored in that of my 5-year-old child. As I finally rose, the sun had already ascended high in the sky. Strolling to the meeting point, I found 4 large tables adorned with an abundance of delectable breakfast items, each labeled with the mother's names. In stark contrast, the table marked with my name bore only a bowl of plain boiled noodles. Those other tables were undoubtedly the rewards for those who had completed their tasks promptly. The bowl of plain noodles before me was merely a meager breakfast, a charitable offering from the production team, lest I succumb to hunger. I chose not to be pretentious, sitting down promptly to indulge. Before long, however, the young one emerged with a small dish of pickles, his expression one of utter disbelief upon seeing me consume the noodles. "Mom, you actually ate it." I bit through the noodles, responding with a nonchalant "hmm." He appeared utterly distraught. "This was the heartfelt breakfast I prepared for you. Now that you've eaten it, our team has no breakfast left and we will incur penalties." It took me a moment to grasp the implications of his words. The plain noodles were not a mere act of charity from the production team. Rather, they were a breakfast he had prepared in my name, in a bid to retain his coveted position atop the score leaderboard. Having consumed the noodles, he not only lost points, but would also be penalized further. The ambitious little one was in despair. To this, I remarked, "Pfft, such formalities," and pulled him over, asserting that filling our stomachs was far more significant than any points. "You made a substantial amount of noodles. There's enough for both of us." No sooner had I spoken than derisive comments began to infiltrate my ears. How is it that some mothers neglect to prepare breakfast for their children and then shamelessly feast upon their child's creation? How can one exhibit such audacity? It's utterly disgraceful. Unlike us, Shuang Shuang rises at 5 to prepare a nutritious breakfast for little Lo, meticulously arranging a grand spread. After all, different identities come with different fates. Little Lo is the offspring of a prominent family in the capital. A comparison to your wild child is simply unfathomable. Little one, when you reincarnate, make sure to choose wisely. Don't end up with a mother who is both lazy and greedy, or life will be nothing short of hellish. You may not realize it now, but you will once you grow up. Su Lin's words were particularly harsh, leaving no room for dignity. The atmosphere grew thick with silence as her remarks hung in the air, causing all present to feel the weight of awkwardness. In stark contrast to the silence around us, the barrage of comments on the screen erupted into chaos. "Oh dear, this is so embarrassing." You can feel the tension through the screen. Su Lin's comments are incredibly harsh. The mother-child dynamic is theirs alone, yet she feels the need to meddle. It's happened multiple times. What a busybody. I too found Su Lin tiresome. Clearly a nobody in the entertainment industry, attempting to garner attention by stirring trouble on the show. Her relentless flattery of Shuang Shuang was nauseating. When Qin Jia consumed the meal prepared by her son, it was perfectly acceptable. Qin Jia, no problem. The child, no problem. But Su Lin, absolutely not. The earlier comments likening me to a servant were uncalled for. How much did your master pay you to defend her? And look at you, groveling like a sycophant. Much like your mistress. It's laughable. Just because one rises at 5 to cook does not automatically make them a good mother. Shuang Shuang caught sight of the comments and frowned slightly. However, she soon managed to smile, beckoning the young one to join her for a meal. After all, there was plenty to go around, and she even made room for little Lo beside them. Yet, the young one remained motionless, his downturned lips betraying his discontent. A bystander, aware of our discord, quietly inquired if we would like to share some breakfast. I waved them off, declaring it unnecessary. It was merely cooking, after all. As if anyone couldn't do it. I rolled up my sleeves, ready to take matters into my own hands. This, however, seemed to terrify the young one, who burst into tears. "Please, someone stop my mom. She actually intends to cook." He lamented, "I no longer care about points. I don't even want to be first. Just stop her, even if it means I come in last." His cries echoed, "I truly do not wish to eat whatever my mom prepares. Please." Provoking her is a gamble. Her cooking is a perilous affair. In a surreal moment, I witnessed the young one sobbing uncontrollably, while I found myself laughing heartily. Though I felt guilty for it. My laughter brought tears to my eyes, driven by curiosity about just how atrocious Qin Qi's cooking could be. To have driven the child to such comedic despair. It was almost comical, as he began referring to me as sister instead of mom, severing the familial bond over a single meal. However, curiosity soon waned, as I presented a plate of unappetizing slop that bore no resemblance to food. The foul odor sent onlookers recoiling, leaving the young one seated on his small stool, confronting the oversized bowl with a face twisted in distaste. Amidst the scrutiny, He fought back tears, alternating between choking down the food and grimacing. By the end, he was left questioning his very existence. Summoning all his courage, he forced the last bite into his mouth, prompting even the crew to breathe a sigh of relief, their gazes now filled with newfound respect. In future activities, I shall forfeit my participation. This overwhelming maternal love is suffocating, he declared. If this continues, my very life is at stake. The director, witnessing the scene, rubbed the back of his neck awkwardly, assuring us that the upcoming tasks would be lighthearted and meaningful. However, I was taken aback when the easy tasks involved hauling over 200 pounds of bamboo shoots to the town for sale. The more we sold, the more points we would earn. And the production team would set aside a bonus in the name of each guest to donate to children in mountainous regions who had dropped out of school. With the stakes laid bare, I could no longer afford to be lazy. I and the young one rented a tricycle, transporting the bamboo shoots to the local eateries. While other teams set up stalls to shout for customers, we had a more strategic approach, supplying larger establishments. The more successful restaurants needed vast quantities of bamboo shoots daily. Ours were fresh and affordable, making sales a breeze. After negotiating with several establishments, we had nearly sold out. The remaining shoots were either too small or flawed and deemed unsuitable for restaurants, so we decided to sell them cheaply at the market. The situation was secure. There was no need for concern. However, as we passed a convenience store, I found myself entranced by the ice cream freezer at the entrance. I tugged at the young one's sleeve, my eyes brimming with yearning. "Yage, having earned so much today, please buy your mom some ice cream." He hesitated, feeling the weight of his small wallet, and reluctantly agreed. "All right, but only one. I can't afford anything expensive." I replied, "Fair enough." As we exited the store with our ice creams in hand, my gaze fell upon a familiar figure in the distance. Little Liz stood nearby, gazing longingly at our ice creams, his face a portrait of desire. It seemed Shuang had gone off to find a way to sell bamboo shoots, leaving him behind. After a moment of mutual understanding, I could no longer withstand his pitiful gaze and asked, "Would you like some too?" Thus, the young one's funds dwindled further. The three of us found ourselves seated at the convenience store, enjoying our ice creams. Little Luke cradled his treat with utmost care, savoring each lick as if it were a rare delicacy, squinting his eyes in bliss whenever he reached the filling, his face lighting up with joy. I was taken aback. After all, it was merely a 1 yuan ice cream. "Little Lo, have you never had ice cream before?" He shyly shook his head. "I was always at home. And the nanny wouldn't let me have these." "Ah, so that was the case. What about these?" I pointed to the chips and chocolates on the shelf. He shook his head, his eyes betraying his longing. My heart swelled with affection. What a pitiful child, having grown so large without ever tasting snacks or ice cream. With such thoughts in mind, I seized the nearby child and pushed him towards him, saying, "No worries, just tell me what you wish to eat today. Your big brother is treating you." Unaware of the unfolding situation, the little one felt a sudden chill at the back of his neck and instinctively clutched his wallet tightly. I led Xiaolu and indulged him heartily. The result was that Xiaolu, beaming with joy, clutched an assortment of cookies and chips, finally exhibiting the vivaciousness of a child. "Aunt Jean, these chips are crunchy and tomato-flavored. This chocolate has a toy on the back, a little car that can move. I adore this gummy candy. It's sweet and can be peeled apart." I watched as Xiaolu opened up, chattering excitedly, and my heart swelled with maternal pride, inadvertently revealing a warm smile. However, this heartwarming scene was short-lived, swiftly shattered by the sudden appearance of Shang Shuang. She stormed over with a scowl, ruthlessly knocking the snacks from Xiaoli's arms onto the ground, and loudly demanded, "Who permitted you to eat these? Didn't I tell you not to run around? Come. We're going home. You were not to speak with strangers without my permission. Do you understand?" As she spoke, she shot me a venomous glare, fearful that Xiaolu might express even a hint of dissatisfaction, and hurriedly dragged him away. I was left amidst a chaotic sea of snacks, feeling utterly flustered. I mean, it was merely a treat. Wasn't he abducting her child? Was she overreacting? Many in the live stream shared my sentiments. Goodness, that was genuinely frightening. Shang Shuang looked as if she could devour someone whole. How fierce. And for just eating something, is it really necessary to be that tense? It's not like there was poison involved. Indeed, wasn't she supposed to embody the gentle and delicate persona? It was shocking to see her behave so harshly. It seemed too severe for a 5-year-old who had never even tasted snacks. Per Xiaolu. Ladies, the crux of the matter isn't merely the snacks. It is her overwhelming desire for control over the child. She wouldn't even allow him to speak to anyone, and Aunt Jin Kuyu, who also participated in the show, is reduced to a stranger in her eyes. Growing up in such a stifling environment, it's no wonder Xiaolu is so quiet and reserved. Yet, there were also fans of Xing Shuangshuang who scoffed at this perspective, retorting coldly. Some folks need to stop being so bitter. What is wrong with not having eaten snacks? They're all just additives, nothing delectable about them. Xiaolu is the child of a princeling from the capital, living a life of luxury. How can not having eaten junk be seen as pitiable? Ridiculous. Furthermore, the discord between Qinyu and Shuangshuang isn't new. Finally, seeing Xiaolu unaccompanied, who knows if she might poison him? It's normal for Shuangshuang to be anxious. Loving a child is not the same as being controlling. It's precisely because of Shuangshuang's meticulous upbringing that Xiaolu is so well-behaved and courteous. Unlike some children who behave like wildlings, completely lacking manners. Xing Shuangshuang's fans defended her fervently, silencing many. From a certain perspective, some of their arguments held merit. Yet one fan quietly voiced, Xiaolu is just a 5-year-old child. Why must he endure such hardships due to his identity, deprived of a proper childhood? If I had to choose, I would rather be Qin Qiyu's child. At least I would be happy and free. I'd rather not be the child of a capital princeling. After Xing Shuangshuang and her son departed, I didn't dwell on it and tidied up before taking the child to the market, setting up a small stall to sell bamboo shoots, with the child enthusiastically calling out beside me. However, unexpectedly, just as we were about to finish selling, Su Lin stormed over, causing a ruckus, and kicked over our basket of bamboo shoots, trampling the contents and scattering them everywhere. As she kicked, she shouted, "Don't buy from them. They'll poison you. Eating their food will kill you." This outrageous behavior left me stunned. Su Lin, are you out of your mind? Su Lin glared at me fiercely, retorting, "You're the one responsible for this. You poisoned the food that Xiaolu ate, and now he's lying in bed, vomiting and suffering. If anything happens to my godson, I will not let you off the hook." The market, already bustling, was drawn to her commotion. And her accusations attracted a chorus of boos, as many were shocked to hear such allegations against me. Xiaolu vomiting and suffering? I was utterly bewildered. It couldn't be that serious. Su Lin sneered, "What are you pretending for? You tampered with those snacks. Shuangshuang told you not to let him eat. And yet you paid for people to malign her, calling her overly dramatic. Now something has happened. What is your explanation?" "My mother doesn't owe you any explanations." The child stood defiantly in front of me, facing Su Lin as he had before, showing no signs of intimidation. "Dear uncles, aunts, and grandparents, our bamboo shoots are provided by the production team, and during the entire live stream, no one could tamper with them. If ours are poisonous, then theirs must be as well. I assure you, these bamboo shoots are perfectly safe. She is merely slandering us. My mother bought snacks for Xiaolu, but those were all from reputable brands sold in stores, all with quality guarantees. If Xiaolu had an issue, go seek the store owner or the brand. Why come after my mother? If my mother poisoned them, then I ate them too. Why didn't I die? Does this poison selectively attack people? Furthermore, if your godson is suffering so severely, why aren't you rushing him to the hospital instead of coming here to cause trouble for us? Are you out of your mind?" His retort, backed by reason, left Su Lin speechless, floundering for words. All she could do was glare at us, still unwilling to concede. "Even now, you're being obstinate. Xiaolu is the child of a capital princeling. If Gucci learns of this, he will not let you off easily. Qin Qiyu, you're finished. If anything happens to Xiaolu, the Gu family will absolutely not rest until they have their vengeance. I foresee that before the show concludes, you and your insufferable son will be completely blacklisted from the entertainment industry. Just wait and see how you will beg for mercy." As Su Lin spoke, her nostrils flared with arrogance. She had evidently lost her sanity in the pursuit of fame and fortune. After all, this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If Gucci retaliated, my fate would be grim, and Su Lin, who had fought so fiercely for Xing Shuangshuang, would likely receive a few bones in reward. She had been in the industry for over a decade, enduring enough humiliation. If this continued, she would truly go mad. Hence, she was willing to seize this opportunity to attack me without reservation. Even infamy is still fame, she thought, emboldened by the protection of the capital princeling. What is there to fear? Thus, she grew increasingly brazen, publicly hurling various insults and veiled threats. Child, be quiet. I am my father's child. That little Lou is nothing but an impostor. Moreover, my father loves my mother dearly. They are a legal couple, without any third party. He furrowed his brow, fervently shouting. Hearing this, Su Lin paused momentarily, then burst into laughter, clutching her thigh, tears streaming down her face. You little rascal, have you lost your mind? To claim you are the child of the princeling. Have you been living a hard life with Qin Kuyu and developed a delusion? Envying Xiaolu for having a loving mother and a supportive father? You are just jealous of Xiaolu, which is why you want to take his father. But please, don't be so ridiculous, you fool. You are a Qin, not a Gu. Huh. A wild child following Qin Kuyu. Let us investigate whether you even have a father. The audacity of fabricating lies during a live broadcast to claim paternity is astonishing. Apart from that one instance where your mother publicly fawned over Gucci, there has been no intersection between your lives. Yet, you still attempt to cling to this narrative. Truly, like mother, like child. Previously, fans had even purchased trending topics to declare his cuteness. What a farce. Now, his true colors are revealed, aren't they? Su Lin, seizing the opportunity, unleashed a torrent of scorn, each word akin to a sharp blade piercing through the child's facade. The child, undeterred, retorted with a defiant expression. His clarity of thought and eloquence rendering him seemingly unyielding in the confrontation. I, however, found myself at a loss, unable to interject a single word. It was only when I received a video call from Gucci that I discreetly retreated to a corner to answer. He sat in the car, exuding vitality as he greeted me. Wife, guess where I am? I glanced out at the matching sunset. Surely, you are not abroad. You wouldn't be here to visit me, would you? Gucci snapped his fingers. Bingo. As expected of my wife. Now that you're working, I naturally had to come. Where is the child? I replied, he's busy arguing. A heavy silence echoed through the phone. After a moment, I awkwardly added, all right, let him tone it down. I huddled in the corner, engaging in a casual conversation with Gucci. He had just landed and would soon arrive at the shooting location. Somehow, my hidden presence during the video call caught the attention of netizens. What on earth is Qin Kuyu doing? The child is bravely fighting in the front lines. Yet, she hides behind a video call? And she is smiling like that? It seemed likely that a call from a benefactor was the reason for her demeanor. Otherwise, how could she appear so frivolous? Given her provocative nature, I found Su Lin's criticisms quite valid. On television, she embodied the image of an innocent fairy. Yet what was she like before her benefactor? I too believed that no amount of fan support could disguise her true nature as a gold digger. What kind of decent child could arise from such a parent? It's no wonder she claimed to be the offspring of the esteemed heir of the capital's circle. What a laugh. No matter how outrageous Su Lin may be, she is still of the older generation. Qin Yi publicly arguing with her demonstrated a shocking lack of upbringing. If he behaves like this at such a tender age, what will he become as an adult? The live chat was inundated with insults and mindless trolling, targeting even children. The child was belittled to the point of worthlessness. Their onslaught provoked many clueless passersby to join in the condemnation. Until someone timidly pointed out, has anyone noticed that the person on the video call with Qin Kuyu sounds remarkably like Gucci? They shared a clip comparing the voice from the live stream to that of Gucci during a previous press conference. Upon listening, it was indeed identical. How absurd. After failing to pursue Gucci, Qin Kuyu had settled for a benefactor with an identical voice? The crowd was captivated, eagerly demanding the director's team to zoom in. With such overwhelming interest, the directors had no choice but to oblige, bringing the camera closer, revealing the rumored, aloof heir of the capital, Gucci. Nestled in the back seat of a car, one hand raised with a phone, grinning foolishly and calling me wife. I couldn't believe my eyes. Was it truly Gucci? My vision wasn't failing me, was it? The benefactor of Qin Kuyu, no, her husband, was indeed Gucci. What was I to do? My knees nearly buckled. Oh, noble heir. Spare me. Wait, I hadn't actually slandered her, so perhaps all was well. What a fright. Where had all those raucous detractors gone? Surely they hadn't deleted their accounts and fled in the night? All day long, they had hurled accusations at my sister Qin, calling her a homewrecker. While some even pretended to belong to the Gu family to suppress her, yet now, they were silent. Hold on. If Qin Qiu is indeed Guqi's wife, then what of Xing Shuang? My mind raced. With Guqi's identity revealed, the show reached unprecedented heights of popularity, dominating all trending topics. The live stream was suddenly flooded with spectators eager for gossip. Everything transpired within a brief span, leaving Su Lin before the camera utterly oblivious to the chaos until the live feed was abruptly cut. Upon seeing Guqi in the video, realization dawned upon her. Her face drained of color as she collapsed onto the floor. Tears streamed down her face, trembling with shock and fear. No, how could this be? When Sheng Shuang arrived, she remained unaware of her exposure. Witnessing Su Lin's disheveled state, disdain flickered in her eyes, quickly replaced by a feigned concern as she pretended to help her up. Lin, I told you they are difficult to deal with. Don't stand up for me, it would only harm you. The child was truly reckless, daring to confront you, an adult. This was unacceptable. Moreover, due to the machinations of certain individuals, Lei lay in a hospital bed. How could some people be so shameless? They exploited the fact that Lei's father was abroad, taking advantage of us mother and child. My own suffering mattered little, it was Lei's condition that pained me. As she spoke, she cast a pointed glance in my direction. Upon hearing this, Su Lin's expression shifted dramatically. She sprang to her feet and slapped Xing Shuang across the face. Wretched woman. Even now, you seek to manipulate me. Gu, the true father of Lei, is not yours. You, with this wild accusation of being Gu's son, deceived me into confronting Qin Qiu while you hide in the shadows, basking in the spotlight. What a cunning ploy. You promised me that when Lei's father returned, I would be given the lead role. For you, I sacrificed my dignity, appearing before the camera daily in madness. Where's the father you spoke of? Where's the Gu you mentioned? Sheng Shuang, I'll settle this with you. If my reputation is ruined, you will not escape unscathed. She frantically clawed at Xing Shuang, leaving deep gashes across her face. Her fury was palpable. To gain fame, she had believed in Xing Shuang's deceitful words, repeatedly targeting Qin Qiu, even engaging in public spats with Qin Yi. The entire internet knew she had become Xing Shuang's puppet, revealing her vicious side merely for a few scraps of fame. In the end, it was Qin Qiu who was the legitimate Mrs. Gu. Guqi would undoubtedly not let her off lightly. She was finished. Yet, even in death, she would drag someone down with her. Unaware of the unfolding events, Sheng Shuang stood, bewildered. Lin, please calm down. Do you even realize what you're doing? Calm down? How can I remain calm when Qin Qiu is the true wife of Guqi, and you, an impostor, have deceived me so cruelly? What? Sheng Shuang's eyes widened in disbelief as she turned to me. Until Guqi appeared just in time, affectionately wrapping his arm around my waist, calling me wife. She nearly fainted. Sheng Shuang stood frozen, ashen-faced, even forgetting to resist. Why? Why is it Qin Qiu? How could she, so young, rise to fame in the entertainment industry and become a national treasure while I struggled for years, still unable to match her? Now, even her hidden marriage partner is Guqi. This is utterly unjust. Why should my hard work yield lesser results than hers? Sheng Shuang nearly screamed. Her eyes filled with frenzied hatred, yet she laughed maniacally, completely losing the grace of a star. It doesn't matter. No matter how noble your status, you are still a poisoner. My child ate the snacks you provided and is now suffering from food poisoning, just taken to the emergency room. Your actions have harmed my child. How will you compensate? With that, the blame fell squarely on me. Viewers in the live stream began to empathize with Sheng Shuang, though she was no saint. She was undeniably a devoted mother. After becoming a mother, I truly cannot endure these circumstances. A child is one's very lifeblood. The audacity of Qin Qiu to lay hands on her own child is unfathomable. As I immerse myself in the role of Sheng Shuang, I feel an overwhelming rage. Indeed, in the intricate web of adult rivalries, it is the children who suffer the most. My heart aches for Xiaoluo, who nearly lost his life when he was rushed to the hospital in a state of unconsciousness. Regardless of the fact that Qin Qiu is Guqi's wife, she must take responsibility for her own transgressions. Observing the online backlash directed at me, Sheng Shuang's lips curved into a smirk, delighting in the chaos. Yet, her amusement was short-lived, as Xiaoli's father emerged, exclaiming, "Do not be deceived by her facade. Sheng Shuang is no good mother. She is a scoundrel who abandoned her husband and child. Shortly after giving birth to Xiaolu, she ran off with a wealthy man, disguising herself as single to enter the entertainment industry, never once returning to care for Xiaolu. It was only 2 years ago that she discovered Xiaolu bore a striking resemblance to President Gu, prompting her to swoop in and snatch the child away. Initially, I believed that being with her would afford the child a better life, so I endured. Little did I know that the child was merely a pawn in her quest to construct a false persona. Xiaolu called to inform me that it was his mother who forced him to take medication that caused him excruciating pain, intending to frame Qin Qiyu for the act. Shang Shuang, how cruel your heart is. He spoke while releasing the audio of his conversation with Xiaolu, where the boy's frail voice, tinged with tears, pleaded for his father's rescue. It was a heart-wrenching moment. I have already alerted the authorities. Prepare to face the consequences of your actions. At this juncture, Shang Shuang's arrogance dissipated entirely. Her complexion turned ashen, as if all strength had been drained from her body, and she collapsed to the ground, sobbing uncontrollably. I did not intend for this to happen. I was merely blinded by jealousy. Why should Qin Qiyu possess everything I long for yet cannot attain? Why should she enjoy such happiness while I toil relentlessly, only to fall short? I just wanted to prove that I am better than her. I swear. I never envisioned it would escalate to this point. I never meant to poison Xiaolu. It was an unfortunate mishap, spiraling out of control. Even now, she seeks excuses, a testament to her unworthiness of sympathy. The child could no longer bear to witness it. Standing before her, his small frame exuded an unusual calmness. Your efforts were misguided from the start. Elevating oneself at the expense of others renders everything you possess inherently unstable, which is why you find yourself compelled to continuously prove your worth. Furthermore, you often criticize my mother for her laid-back attitude. Do you possess her mindset? Ever since your rise to fame, you have relentlessly sought to tarnish her reputation. When she laughed it off, you should reflect. How would you feel if those insults were directed at you? You must either strive to enhance your abilities or cultivate a mindset of contentment, yet you possess neither. Succumbing to jealousy instead. It is no wonder you find yourself in this predicament. Upon hearing these words, Gucci and I exchanged glances, instinctively giving a thumbs up for the child's wisdom. Indeed, having a vocal child is immensely gratifying. Whether it be jealousy or greed, excess in either is detrimental. Allowing such sentiments to fester only culminates in one's own destruction. Shang Shuang was swiftly taken away by the arriving police. As for Su Lin, she appeared utterly petrified, incessantly pleading for mercy. She portrayed my husband as a figure akin to the underworld, when in truth, he is merely an ordinary businessman. A law-abiding citizen with an abundance of wealth, far removed from the harrowing depictions found in novels. Moreover, with her daughter crying for leniency, we opted against legal action, leaving her to her own devices. The individual most profoundly affected by this entire affair was undoubtedly the director of the show, as 2 of the 4 guests had imploded, rendering the production impossible to continue. Thankfully, we were spared from any breach of contract fees, and I returned home, content to indulge in leisure. Subsequently, Xiaoli's father resolutely pursued legal action against Shang Shuang, resulting in her receiving a 6-month prison sentence. Upon her release, she lost all her jobs, becoming a mere shadow of her former self. Meanwhile, Su Lin held a press conference to apologize before retreating from the entertainment industry, dedicating herself to raising her child, reportedly in a much improved state. As for me, my clingy husband finds every available moment to be with me, and inadvertently, we may soon welcome another life. Observing the 2 of them, father and son, carefully doting on our daughter with broad smiles, I could not help but roll my eyes in resignation. This time, let the child take his surname. The end. Thank you for listening, and we shall meet again in the next tale.